Hello everyone, your voice here and welcome to the channel Sansevieria 101. So for this episode, we're going to add another trifasciata cultivar to our playlist. And this specific cultivar of trifasciata is a medium-sized and wide leaf variety of trifasciata. So that means that it doesn't grow more than 2 feet and it has very wide leaf, or it can grow very wide leaf. Later on we will take measurements of the leaf size and the leaf length of this specimen that I am showing you right now. So uh, back then it had other names, namely it was called by Boyd Nursery as Black Gold Superba. So before, it's also known by the name Black Gold Superba, but it was published as Sansevieria trifasciata Sheri as the official ID for this trifasciata cultivar. So it has other names, and it was introduced by I'm sorry again if I have or well pronounced the last name incorrectly. It was introduced by Carl Dribibus. I am not sure if I have pronounced the last name correctly. Carl is from Houston, and he discovered trifasciata Sheri from a garden section of an improvement center. Uh, he is from Houston, Texas. So this the first Sheri was discovered by Carl Dribibus. And also there are also information about trifasciata Sheri that's already published in the Sansevieria journals. I can include the page, what page it is, and what article it's found on the right side corner of this content. But going back to what we are discussing, Black Gold Superba, or I'm sorry, trifasciata Sheri, is having a base color of the leaf which is dark green. So in trifasciatas, perhaps I will write about it. For normal trifasciata, you would see it as a banded type, wherein there are light green, and then in alternate there are also dark green. They are alternate with each other and they are banded. Uh, they are having banded pattern, I'm sorry. So there will be times wherein the darker color will proliferate, or everything on the leaf would be dark green. So there are some instances that the mutation will become like that, or there are also sometimes chances that it will be all or mostly proliferated by the lighter green color of the leaf that is found on the one of the colors on the banded trifasciata. So on banded trifasciata, you would see the dark green banding and the light green banding. There are times that you will see there are almost no dark green bandings, and those are the so-called silver types, or the pale green clone, wherein almost all of the leaves are proliferated by the lighter green color, lighter green base color of the leaf rather than the dark green. So if it's the dark green that has proliferated, or everything on the base coloration is almost dark, or there are times that there are now lighter green color, then they are classified as a dark green clone of trifasciata. So there are light green clones and there are dark green clones. Mostly the light or the pale green clones would be what people would call as silver, and then the dark green clones people would usually call as black. So this one was named by a certain nursery as Black Gold Superba, but it was published with the official ID as Sansevieria trifasciata Sheri. So that is the name of the plant. As to why it is Sheri, I have no information regarding why it was named Sheri. All I know is that it was introduced by Carl, and then it has other names before, which is Black Gold Superba, which is superseded by it being named Sheri. So perhaps I will ask a colleague of mine as to why the name Sheri for this Sansevieria trifasciata cultivar, and perhaps I'll update or comment on the description below, or comment on the content below with regards to why it's called Sheri. So going back, what we'll do with the specimen that I am featuring right now is that we will take measurements, but before that, my specific specimen has developed to grow in a very very compact form, or very very leafy form, or leafy form, and then a bit shorter than I expected. I could perhaps include a picture of an overlay of the initial plant when I received it, because when I received it, it just had two leaves. This is the first. This is one of them. This is one of the leaf, and then this is the second one that has burned out. So I have placed it in a location wherein it receives perhaps more than sufficient enough sunlight, but I like it that way. So to eliminate the chances of fungal infections, or any fungus would be eliminated by the sunlight that it receives. So to the extent of sometimes I'm burning off the leaves of my plants. However, when I received the plant, this is the first two leaves, like I mentioned. So perhaps uh, they were not introduced to the intensity of sunlight that I am introducing them right now. But for the new leaves that grew where I am growing this specimen, it has not burned. But what burned was the first two leaves wherein it grew uh, from a different location where I bought from my buyer, or the person who sold it to me, or trade. I think traded, because I traded this plant from another collector, and I traded it with a hybrid named Pumpui. I think it was Mr. Arsenal, if I'm not mistaken. And thank you, by the way, for trading me Sansevieria trifasciata Sheri. So Sheri, from where I am, is not common. So there are very few people who can identify if they have a Sheri or not. Most of the time, they would tag it as commonly mistaken as black gold, which is not, because black gold, again, trifasciata black gold is a full size trifasciata. This one is compact. You can almost mistake it as a short leaf or dwarf type trifasciata, comparable to J dwarf marginated, but it is not dwarf. It has just grown very compact, that it grew shorter than it should be. So perhaps it's just this specimen that would grow to such, or with this size for now, but I'm expecting the pups to grow normally and bigger than this specimen that I have, although I don't see any offsets coming out from the pot as of the current. But I know that it is uh, growing steadily because of the amount of leaves that it grown. And I'll point out as well that if your plant receives sufficient watering and sufficient sunlight, the leaves would be very, very stiff. So they're stiff, they're not flimsy. You'd know if your plant or trifasciata is flimsy if it doesn't receive enough sunlight, or if it does not receive enough watering. So you have to do the right amount of mix so that you can grow trifasciatas to very, very beautiful specimens. So I'm just sharing some tips for you, or some clues for you on how to grow your trifasciatas. Before we end though, we will take measurements, and I'm planning to just cut off the longer leaf because this one was heavily damaged by extensive sunlight, and like I always say, we are experiencing quite a warm weather here in the Philippines as of the current. The temperature that we are experiencing are reaching from 45 to 50 degrees Celsius. So reason being, one of the leaves have burned out, but I'm not too worried about it because the plant is still healthy. Rather have them burned than making them or having them overwatered with fungal infection. So a leaf being burned is on the safer side of trifasciatas having problems. So that's perhaps one of the things that I can point out, or I can share with you. So like mentioned, I am going to remove some leaves from it because they're ugly, and perhaps I can do some leaf propagation with regards to leaves of this specific trifasciata cultivar that we are featuring to you right now. So I'll just cut off the leaf close to the base so that it would still look naturally it would look natural as it can be. So I'm going to remove the other leaf as well. I'm supposed to measure it, but we'll just measure it without it being attached from the leaf. So the initial leaf measure, when I first got it, as you can see, I positioned it parallel to the ruler, and the tip are aligned with each other. So it's almost normally the trifasciata Sheri would be at 12 inches. That's the longest on the specimen that I am featuring right now measures. I can measure the burned leaf as well, and it just measures about 9 inches. So there you go. We have measured the two oldest leaf that I have removed from it. Like I said, I'm expecting a pup from this specimen, and also I had to remove it because there are chance that from the damage, uh, it would uh, it would infect the whole leaf, and it might have fungal infections, and it would crawl to the base of the leaf. So rather have them removed as early as possible. So there you go. We have removed the leaves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the hydrogen peroxide on the wounds, so it would disinfect the cut portion, and as well as make the wound dry faster, or callus faster. All right, so this is how my Sheri looks like now. We have measured the length. The width, though, I have a different tool to measure it. Set it to 0, and I'll measure the topmost leaf portion, and it is measuring at 61.6 millimeters. We'll measure this leaf. It's thinner compared to the first one that I mentioned. Since the second one would be 53.6, the first one that I did mention measure was again 62.9. As I measure it again, and that was the I think that was the widest leaf. There is another one here, but I one of the old leaves from where I have gotten it when I traded it, and it's a bit curled, so I think that's still narrower compared to the first one that I measured on the topmost portion of the leaf. So we're done with taking measurements. I'm going to remove the camera and I'm going to focus a bit and describe the pattern of the leaf of Sansevieria trifasciata Sheri. So this is again the pattern of it. I think if you leaf propagate it, there are chances that you will still get the normal green banded form of trifasciata. That is because I see some banded pattern here from where the variegations are on top of it, and you would see that the bandings are still there. So even though you see that the base color of the leaves are very dark, in it there are still the light or the pale green bandings that it's hiding. Perhaps the darker ones are over the lighter ones that you can see them, but from the margins, the variegated margins, they are still visible. So there are still pale green uh, color coming from Trifasciata Sheri. And as well, I'll point out that besides the very thick and bright variegations or margins from Shari, you would also see this linear longitudinal variegations which are whitish in color. From some leaves, you would see it. You can also see them in the other cultivars such as Laurentii and perhaps in black gold. I'm not sure, but for Shari, you would see that there are some whitish variegations that are longitudinal on the leaf itself. So they are mostly growing on the center part, but not on all leaves. There are just some leaves that you would see them appear. So that's still normal. They're still Shari if that happens. It's just that they are showing or appearing on some of the leaves. So, folks, I think this is it for this content. And again, if you have any questions or suggestions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. And if you like what we have featured for you, then please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and you all have a great day. Thank you and goodbye.